Hi everyone, my name is Izzy Arbondo, and this is Re-envisioning Recycling, a collection of soft film plastics from UCSB. Re-envisioning Recycling is a continuing Eli project designed by Ellen Stephen from last Eli cohort. I wanted to continue this project based on my own personal ties to it, but also to get this project operating again, expand it, and find permanent placement for it at UCSB. My mountaintop goal for this project was to have no soft film plastics in the Santa Barbara landfill by creating a permanent system at UCSB where students and residents are actively engaged in collecting this plastic and participating in weighing and sorting events. My SMART goals for this project was to collect 100 pounds of plastic by expanding recycling efforts from the Amazon locker to multiple campus locations by the end of the school year in June. I tracked the total weights collected throughout winter quarter and spring quarter, partnered with planet protectors, and educated residents through events and social media outreach about the importance of recycling single-use plastics. The types of plastic we collect are any of your stretchy film plastics, which are typically your twos and your fours. Some examples of this include plastic bags from the grocery store, bread bags, saran wrap, bubble wrap, and many more. Now, the process of where this sort of plastic goes and what actually happens to it is that plastics are weighed and sorted at Planet Protectors, and then they are compressed into a baler where they're then put into their shipment containers, and Planet Protectors sends these containers to places that turn them into small little pellets. Now, after this, the pellets get sent to Nextrex, where Nextrex makes these pellets into hardware durable products, such as your plastic decking or plastic benches, for example. Now, when I started this project, I had a hard time figuring out exactly where to start and having to overcome those initial fears of mine of cold calling businesses or showing up to them to have a talk to their managers. This is kind of why I originally had just stuck to doing the Amazon location first. And I collected roughly 20 pounds of plastic from them. And I only didn't have to sort through much of it because it was already stuff that I could see and it was all the clean. However, I still wanted to get some community involvement. And by doing this, I wanted to pilot collection drop-off bins, which I had leaned towards doing initially, but was leered away from it by a majority of the people because of risk of contamination, as I can't stand outside of each bin and watch people put in the plastic to make sure that it's not contaminated. One person could easily put in their can of soda into these bins and contaminate the whole entire bin. As much as people were guiding me away from this, I still wanted to test it out as a pilot experience because last Eli cohort, they didn't try this. So I thought, why not try it? And I only ran into like complete contamination one time and like partial contamination a few times, but nothing that like was really horrible. Marburg Industries was actually kind enough to donate me 3 of their bins that I then personalized and made appropriate informational signage for on the bins. And some of these signage includes the stretch test and the tear test that you can do at home. So, what does this look like? The stretch test means that if you take your thumb and you stretch through the plastic and it rips and it tears in this jagged sort of line that you see right here, then you know it's a plastic that we can take. However, if it rips and tears into this like straight, harsh tear line, then it's not a plastic that can work for getting recycled through Nextrex. A lot of this project, I focused on a lot of outreach. I use social media to advertise my project, show my progress, provide education, and volunteering. I was able to table at the Zero Waste Festival as well as the Santa Barbara Earth Day Festival, and also hosted my very first volunteering weighing and sorting events where we sorted through the collection plastics at Ellison Hall on the first floor, the Multicultural Center, MCC, first floor, and Ellis and Bren Hall on the second floor. I tracked data for, oh shoot, sorry, actually I forgot. The reason why I chose these three locations was primarily due to see what kind of people I gravitate from collecting the most. Like, would it be at Brent Hall, where there's a lot of environmentally conscious people? Would it be Ellison Hall, that has a lot of staff and faculty and some students involved? Or the MCC, that's mainly students and from on-campus organizations? And I actually got the most from Brent Hall, which was really amazing. There was no contaminations at all I had to deal with. And then second came Ellison Hall, and last came in the MCC with only one full collection from them. Now, I tracked data for this project for collecting the total weights of each place, like the Amazon, Ellison Hall, but also for the combined weights in total for each drop-off I did at Planet Protectors. And this is the data from the Planet Protectors drop-offs. I collected a total of 87.92 pounds of plastic, which wasn't my 100 pounds as my goal was intended, but it was still super close and significant. I spent majority of my focus on this project trying to find permanent placement. For this, I really thought that AS Recycling or AS Zero Waste would be willing to pick this up by either integrating it into their already existing program or establishing a new committee for this, but it just didn't work out. My location bins were also specifically chosen because they were already collection bins that they had in their routes. I also try to make this into an internship opportunity through UCSB Sustainability and even through Planet Protectors, but again, I just didn't have any luck securing this. And while I wasn't able to finish this quarter by finding permanent placement yet, I'm still in the works of accomplishing this. Even after Eli, I still plan to make an effort in my community and help out with this project. My goal will be to really see this project taking roots in action from the UCSB community, inviting people into this and spreading knowledge. From taking Eli, I learned a lot about myself as a leader that I wouldn't have learned anywhere else. It really taught me how to handle myself in what I would consider to be uncomfortable situations, and helped me understand them a lot more capable than I thought I was. I really appreciate Eli for pushing me a lot and allowing me to face my fears of like public speaking, cold calling, hosting informational meetings, tabling. It actually taught me so much. And I feel way more comfortable doing all those tasks now than I would have from the very, very beginning. I remember from before even taking Eli, when I attended an informational Zoom about the Eli course and what it was, one thing that Professor Zillette really said that resonated with me and stuck out was that if you consider yourself to be a shy or introverted person, then this is the perfect class for you. And I'm so glad I took it because it really was. And that includes the end of the presentation. Thank you again. And thank you to everybody that helped support me throughout this project. Professor Erica Zalette, my mentor Kathy King, everyone at AS Recycling and AS Zero Waste, and Ellen Steven, and so many more people. So thank you so much. Bye.